Today we're going to start our new unit on natural selection, which means you have new notebooks available. So here I am flying through the breeze across a field with a bunch of horses around me. And one thing I want you to think about as we enter this new unit is when you look at the image here and all of the horses, what do you notice and what do you wonder about the horses? If anything happens where you lost track of what you're supposed to do or how you're supposed to do it, don't worry. I will link the directions right here where I'm standing behind this horse going, help, I didn't understand the directions. So, mom and dad, this goes for you too. If your son or daughter does not understand the lesson, I'll try to help you out by walking you through the lesson as well. So, please feel free to use that resource. In Google Classroom today, and the example I'm giving you is third period, but it'll be the same for sixth period as well. You're going to look under classwork, and we have a new unit, Unit 1, Natural Selection. You will each have a notebook, Natural Selection, listed here. And in that notebook is where you're going to put all of the assignments for the unit, just like the last unit. So anytime you get a new assignment and I say it goes in your notebook, this is the notebook that you need to add it to, okay? Today we're going to be examining phenomenon to try to get our brains thinking about natural selection and the new unit that we are entering. I have given you 3 different phenomenon, and then based on your pre-test score is what phenomenon you got assigned. So go ahead and open your new notebook. And it should look like this. It says Natural Selection Notebook, and your name will be somewhere at the top. You're going to go to slide number 2, as the directions say, and this is your phenomenon slide. In class, we would be doing this together. I would assign you your slide, and you're going to look at it. And as you look at it, you're going to come up with an I notice statement. Your I notice statement could be something like, it's just going to start out, I notice that, and then you fill in the blank about whatever that happens to be. Okay. Then you're going to come up with an I wonder statement. So I notice this thing, I wonder this thing. These are the same sentence starters that we used before when we talked about how scientists communicate. So I noticed, and I wonder, There are no wrong answers because it's what you noticed and what you wondered. So don't feel nervous about noticing and wondering something. Then you're going to be put into small groups so that you can talk with other people that saw the same phenomenon you saw. By the way, a phenomenon is a naturally occurring event. It's something that we use a lot in science because scientists study phenomenons. We study naturally occurring events to try to better understand how our world works. So you're going to go ahead and fill in your I notice and your I wonder. Back in Google Classroom, I've given you the I noticed, I wonder slides individually, so you'll only be assigned the slide image that you are supposed to look at. Okay? And so when you open it up, it'll just be something that you see. I encourage you to respond to your I notice, I wonder statements here in the question that I assigned and in your digital notebook. Then we will do breakout rooms and you'll be able to talk to your classmates about what did they notice and what did they wonder. In today's announcement, which hasn't been posted yet but is there, I'm experimenting with Jamboards. So each group, you'll open the Jamboard and each group's going to come up with one big idea question that they could ask based on their I notice, I wonders. And you will add your question to this sticky note here so that the entire class gets the benefit of the various questions that we come up with. And then as a whole group, we're going to come up with one driving question for the unit of natural selection based on the different phenomenons that everybody saw, everyone's I notice and I wonder statement. It is very important that you participate in the discussions because we all benefit when we get to talk to each other and hear from each other. You are a valuable part of this class and you are a valuable part of your team. So please make sure that you allow others to benefit from what you have to offer. So the I notice statement you do individually. The I wonder statement you're going to do today individually. We will discuss it all as a group. Your team's going to come up with a driving question, and that will go on the Jamboard. And then we're going to put our driving question here where it says driving question. After we have the driving question, you will be able to try to answer the driving question, right? That's saying what I first think is. This is like a modified claim evidence reason because you're mostly making a claim. You don't have all the evidence yet, but you will by the end of the unit. And then you can also tie that in with some reasoning. Okay. And then as we move through and go through our discussions, we're going to have a what I know now. And we'll answer that too as we go. So go back and watch this again if you need to. But Phenomenon Day, it's really important that you're here and that you get to have those discussions with your classmates. If you are tuning in a little bit late because you were absent, when you go to the Jamboard, you should be able to see what other groups came up with as a driving question, and we will put our final driving question in the same place so that you still have access to it. Okay. Mom and dad, if you're watching this and you're trying to help your son or daughter out and you're not exactly sure how to do it, please feel free to email me or give me a call and I'll be happy to walk you through it as well. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, let's get started.